Sheboygan is the 8th largest city in Wisconsin, except on the first Saturday in August each year. That first Saturday, of course, is Bratwurst Day, when the aroma of frying bratwurst brings folks running in all the way from the rock-bound coasts of Maine to the sunny shores of California. Sheboygan J.C. sponsor the all-day event, and the worst city of the world welcomes thousands of hungry visitors. Sheboygan has built a solid reputation for top-quality sausage. On any pleasant summer weekend and on every summer holiday, charcoal grills at homes throughout the community are put to work. But bratwurst is really and truly king of meats in early August, when the lines begin forming at the J.C.'s outdoor stands. Anyone who has known the delight of a juicy brat, grilled to a tempting golden brown over an outdoor charcoal fire, and then sandwiched in a hard roll, will tell you there's nothing better, unless it's a double brat. Sausage of all types is high on the shopping list for Sheboygan housewives. The reputation for excellent sausage was not built, as might be supposed, on old German recipes handed down through generations. It's simply that Sheboygan consumers know and demand good sausage, and the industry has been geared to their taste. On Bratwurst Day, there are plenty of pretty sights to see besides sandwiches. Everybody loves a parade, and the J.C.'s make sure there's entertainment for all, whether 1 year old or 100 years old. Whenever the good people of Sheboygan gather in the name of fellowship, music is bound to be a part of the fun. From Sheboygan's earliest days, when the music-minded citizens joined the Concordia and Liederkranz singing societies, music has been important in the pattern of life. The community enjoys a wide diversity of musical activity which begins with youngsters and has no age limit. There are times, though, when youngsters would rather watch the cameraman than listen to music. Sheboygan's love of music may be attributed partly to the well-developed program in the schools, both public and parochial. Competition in the statewide music festivals always finds Sheboygan performers at the top of the winner list. Instrumentalists are welcomed into the Sheboygan Civic Concert and the World Concert Band and Sheboygan Municipal Band, all groups with excellent leadership and many successful performances to their credit. If it's true that a pretty girl is like a melody, then there's no shortage of this kind of music on Bratwurst Day. The crowning of Miss Sheboygan J.C. is one of the highlights of the many festivities that enliven the day. Picking a winner is no easy job when any one of the local beauties could wear the crown gracefully. But no matter which girl is named queen, the king is bratwurst. And it goes so well with a certain popular amber fluid. Asking which came first, beer or bratwurst, is like asking about the chicken and the egg. In Sheboygan, neither came first. They were born twins. Savory brats are always a major part of area picnics. Church congregations, factory employees, business firms, labor unions, and other groups that hold picnics wouldn't settle for anything but bratwurst. It's the people's choice. Since its founding in 1933, the Sheboygan Sausage Company has experienced a remarkable growth by winning the approval first of sausage lovers in the community and then throughout the state and the nation. All Sheboygan Sausage Company products are made from federally inspected meat, cured and smoked in a modern, spotlessly clean plant, boasting the newest in equipment. Bratwurst, as it is made here, is not just pork sausage. It's a blend of lean and fat pork, coarsely ground, with beef and veal added. The company's unique blend of pure imported spices imparts the touch of distinction that makes the product so delicious. After the spices are carefully weighed and mixed to ensure uniform flavor, they're spread over the meat. Every step in sausage making is part of a highly skilled art. The next destination of the seasoned meat is this powerful apparatus which is capable of grinding 7,000 pounds every 60 minutes. High-volume machines are a necessity at the Sheboygan Sausage Company, a leader in a local industry that sells upwards of 9 million pounds of sausage a year. Bratwurst makes up about 10% of the total. Demand is strong, and sales have soared in recent years. After the grinding process, the meat is carried in a stainless steel truck to a vacuum mixer, where spices and meat ingredients are smoothly blended to proper consistency. The mixer, which can handle 700 pounds of meat at a time, also draws out all the air during the action. Sausage products don't grow on trees. It takes a lot of manpower and woman power to turn out the Sheboygan Sausage Company's annual average of over 2.5 million pounds of meat varieties. The company is proud of its employees, who help it contribute to the healthy, progressive atmosphere of the community. One of the most intriguing aspects of sausage production is the stuffing process, when the meat takes the shape in which it will enter the outside world. Each stuffer holds 400 pounds and can force the meat into the familiar casings at the rate of 1,000 pounds every hour. Mile-long coils of sausage are transformed into individual links by skilled workers who have learned the art of braiding after years of practice. Row after row of sausages are hung carefully on racks. They are methodically arranged to permit air circulation between the separate strings. Next station for the commuting sausage car is a cooler, where the meat is held at a constant temperature of 37 degrees. The packing operation at the Sheboygan Sausage Company is considered no less important than other phases of production. To ensure accurate measurement, weighing is done on scales sensitive to a fraction of an ounce. For the self-service markets, the sausages are weighed and placed in cardboard boats on which they will make their voyages into the homes of consumers. The Hyson wrapping machine is another tribute to the town's ingenuity. The Sheboygan-made machine ensures that Sheboygan Sausage Company products will package to keep them fresh and sanitary until the time when the meat is removed to be fried, boiled, or broiled. As the cardboard boats with their precious cargoes pop into position, the machine wraps each snugly in a jacket of cellophane. The wrapped 1-pound sausages then move onto an upper-level track to be carried away. At a final collecting station, the packages are gathered in boxes for convenient shipment. This, then, is the behind-the-scenes activity which produces not only world-famous Sheboygan Sausage Company bratwurst, but 53 choice sausage varieties as well. If you're an expert, you'll recognize such taste treats as bologna, liver sausage, metwurst, ham, Polish sausage, wieners, summer sausage, spiced luncheon loaf, head cheese, Braunschweiger, and various ring sausages. Off the products go to market in a fleet of refrigerated trucks to keep them under ideal temperature conditions at all times. Attention to details of production and transportation has made the Sheboygan Sausage Company a leader in its field. This growth is certain to continue as more people are introduced to the company's high-quality products. These are barley grains, so tiny that they make an ordinary pencil look like a telephone pole by comparison. Barley is the basic ingredient in beer, and at the Schreier Malting Company, the grains are processed for the nation's finest brewers of beer. Without barley malt, there would be no beer as we know it, and without beer, bratwurst would lose a treasured companion. Strange as it seems, the barley grains, which arrive at Schreier at the rate of 7 carloads a day, change very little during the malting process. Schreier experts encourage the choice North Dakota, Red River Valley, and Minnesota grains to grow chemically, producing changes basic to nature. As the barley rolls along on conveyor belts, it has all the appearance of billowing waves like the vast waters of Lake Michigan on a windy day. Barley samples are taken to the Schreier Malting Company's extensive laboratory from each incoming shipment. Technicians split the sample grains and make microscopic examinations for ripeness, cell structure, and general health. The barley is graded in 3 kernel sizes to enable Schreiers to supply malt according to each brewer's particular specifications. Wort, extracted from ground barley malt in warm water, is prepared on a laboratory scale for testing purposes. In brewing beer, yeast and hops are added to the wort, the basic liquid in the production of the popular beverage. Incoming grain, once cleaned of dirt, straw, and weed seeds, goes into huge tanks where it is steeped from 40 to 48 hours to bring the moisture content up to 44%. The next stage is the all-important germination process, which transforms the grain into malt. For 6 days, the barley is encouraged to germinate under controlled temperature and humidity conditions. After about 48 hours, the kernel begin to show well-developed root systems. This growth continues for another 4 days, as enzymes dissolve cell walls to produce starch, and protein content is broken down to a simple state. In brewing, enzymes will convert the starch to maltose, a simple sugar, while the proteins serve as yeast food and contribute foam-holding properties. When germination is complete, the barley, now in the malt stage, is thoroughly dried and subjected to further aging. The malt goes to breweries, while the malt sprouts or roots are recovered for high-protein cattle feed. Schreier Malting Company experience, dating back to 1856, is the key to its fame. Beer contributes much to the enjoyment, relaxation, and sociable happiness of people around the world, day after day, year after year. More than 110 years of brewing experience go into every glass of famous Kingsbury pale beer, the beer that's truly fit for a king. The Kingsbury Breweries Company has shared in Sheboygan's industrial growth. After the barley malt has been adequately ground and mashed and necessary adjuncts added, the wort is extracted and processed until it runs perfectly clear. The wort is then subjected to vigorous boiling in huge copper brew kettles for 2 hours. Hops are added at intervals for protein precipitation, bittering, and to introduce the delicate hop aroma. The wort is strained, and during the cooling stage, it is aerated and yeast is added. Fermentation takes place over a span of 7 days. Temperatures and other reactions are checked constantly, and quality control records maintained. Then, the fermented beer moves on to storage tanks for clarification, mellowing, stabilization, and final filtering. The bottling and canning department is highly mechanized, with most of the Kingsbury Breweries Company packaging performed automatically. Empty cans are thoroughly cleaned, filled at the rate of 300 per minute, sealed and pasteurized. Before they are boxed, each can is conveyed through a weighing machine and a dating machine. Kingsbury six-packs are a popular retail item. Return bottles are submerged in sterilizing caustic solutions at high temperatures, then scrubbed and rinsed under pressure by fresh water jets. The bottles enter a rotary filler, which pumps in the pale amber liquid at an amazing speed of 4 every second. The filled bottles are hit by a knocker mechanism, which causes the beer to foam over just before the bottle is sealed. This forces out the air in the next space. Pasteurizing prevents the beer from deteriorating in the bottle and is accomplished by first heating the bottles to 140 degrees and gradually bringing the temperature down to 70 degrees. A final inspection, and the bottles are off like marching soldiers to receive their colorful uniforms, the famous labels of the Kingsbury Breweries Company. The parade continues to another automatic wonder, a packaging machine that swallows up bottles and drops them out 24 at a time into slots in a shipping case. The cases are whisked away on a moving belt up to the warehouse for storage until they can be loaded on trucks for delivery to various markets. Kingsbury has been setting new records in production and sales. In little more than 5 years, the brewery has increased sales of barrels of beer from 80,000 to more than 200,000. An additional fermenting cellar will boost annual capacity by 75,000 barrels. A unique gathering place on the Sheboygan scene is the King's Court, one of the most outstanding hospitality centers in the brewing industry. Located in what was once an aging cellar in the old brewery building, King's Court was opened in November 1956 by Kingsbury President O.H. King Cole on behalf of the company. It boasts 3 spacious rooms decorated in oak and limestone with Old English and modern decor. Many firms might learn a lesson in community relations from the Kingsbury Breweries Company, a Sheboygan leader. A friend of Sheboygan family since 1887. That's the H.C. Prange Company in the heart of the downtown shopping district. From tiny tots to retired oldsters and their mothers and dads before them, most Sheboygan folks have shopped at Prange's all their lives. Not just because it's a friendly store, but because it's complete and convenient as well. For example, Prange's boasts the largest infants' wear and supplies department in the city. The big smile on the face of the sales lady reflects the attitude the store displays toward its customers. The cliche about the customer is always right is more than just so many words at Prange's. Testing a stroller for freewheeling action is part of the shopping procedure. Even baby is encouraged to climb aboard and make sure by taking a test drive. What? No power steering? From infant to child to teenager to young adult, departments to meet the needs of all these groups lie within a few steps of each other. Every section in the store, every individual display is planned for the convenience of Prange customers. Indeed, a complete store with everything for everybody in the spirit of service. Pioneers in service, the H.C. Prange Company, Sheboygan's largest department store, was the first in the state to provide escalators. That was back in 1937. Now, escalators serve all 4 sales floors. One escalator equals 10 elevators in its capacity for carrying shoppers from one floor to another. And the escalator that handles the most traffic is the one leading to the new, different, and colorful downstairs store. This popular division of Prange's is actually a department store within a department store and boasts its personal staff of buyers of merchandise. The downstairs store now covers 40,000 square feet of floor space, or about a third of a square block. If all the floor space at Prange's was spread out in a one-story structure, it would take up about 2.5 blocks in the downtown area. The downstairs store sells everything from potato spikes to cherubic angel dolls, with the same guarantees of quality enjoyed by merchandise in the rest of the store. One innovation instituted by Prange's was to bring all displays down to eye level so that shoppers might see the entire floor at once over the top of the island fixtures. The selection in the store is so complete that sometimes it is difficult to decide what to buy, especially in the book section. And a young lady certainly has the right to change her mind when confronted by the ink spots and other assorted musical talents. The record shop stocks more than 10,000 records. The housewares department is one of the most complete in the Midwest, while the sporting goods section has also come into its own by virtue of generous space and attractive displays. You can almost feel that tug in your line when you try the action of a fishing rod at Prange's. Browsing around is a sports adventure in itself because of the wide variety of goods. The budget store, offering apparel needs for the entire family, plus dress material and other piece goods, bed sheets, blankets, towels, curtains, and draperies, and an assortment of home furnishings, is available to value-minded shoppers. At all times, H.C. Prange sales personnel follow a creed that describes the customer as the most important person in the store at any time. This creed has been in effect since the first Prange store opened for business in Sheboygan more than 70 years ago in a small building at the corner of 8th and Wisconsin. Now there are huge Prange department stores operating independently in Sturgeon Bay, Green Bay, and Appleton, as well as in Sheboygan. The policy of respect and service which Prange expects its public contact people to show customers is matched by the attitude of the store's executives toward the employees. 1 out of every 3 full-time employees has been associated with the Sheboygan store for at least 10 years. 1 out of every 6 has served Prange customers for more than 20 years. This is a record matched by few retail establishments. One of the most helpful of the store's aids to customers is a complete bridal service. Prange buying offices in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, and European fashion centers shop for bridal costumes to bring radiant response even from the most choosy of young ladies on the verge of matrimony. Prange experts take on the burden of planning the wedding itself, with advice on invitations, flowers, bridesmaids, handling of guests, and all the assorted odds and ends of details that have to be taken care of to ensure a complete success. Service to the bridal couple doesn't end with the ceremony. The store offers an interior decorator establishment as complete as any in the state. Specialists assist with home furnishings and decoration planning that even includes arrangements to do all interior and exterior painting. Prange's has the distinction of being the only local outlet for the exclusive Sheboygan-Dillingham Orbit furniture line, as well as handling lines of budget trend furniture. The store's decorators make frequent trips to market shows to keep abreast of the newest furnishings and color schemes for the home, and also deliver lectures on decor to groups in the community. Model schemes are set up in the store to give customers an impression of how various combinations will look in the home. Prange's company experts custom-make drapes, install wall-to-wall carpeting, and perform other services particularly tailored to the needs of individual customers. Rugs from a small cotton shag to a generous broadloom may be purchased right off the display floor. Shoppers often travel 40 miles to Sheboygan in the knowledge that the most up-to-date home fashions are available at H.C. Prange's. These fashions extend to the multitude of small decorative items that make all the difference between a high-styled home and just another collection of furniture. With the acquisition of the former McClellan store adjoining the main H.C. Prange Company building, all appliances were moved into the new street-level space to establish an appliance annex. This not only released a large area in the main floor for more merchandise, but made shopping for television sets, refrigerators, stoves, and similar goods much easier for the Prange customer. Another example of the best at Prange's is a bakery with an output of both modern delicacies and goods baked in the old Dutch and German traditions. Bakery items are set down on the sales counter minutes after leaving the ovens and often are still warm when purchased. The aroma in the bake shop is delightful enough to put new life in the most tired shopper. Bread is perhaps the most desired of Prange baked goods. Just as Sheboygan folks by nature are connoisseurs of fine sausage and beer, they are exacting in their demands for good bread. At Prange's, these standards are honored with bread that is vitamin-enriched, dense, and baked home style. Each day's quota of bread goes on sale immediately after baking and is sold out in short hours. The demand has been so great that Prange's has been forced to limit sales to store customers. But bread alone is not the only product in which the bakery takes pride. Right next to the bakers who mass-produce scores of loaves of bread at a time, another bakery artist is at work. He sculptures exquisite cakes out of the most basic ingredients. Under his talented hands, bare layers form a column and then begin to take on the beauty of a work of art. The foundation is covered with a coat of icing and adorned with the most delicate of floral and bell-like figures. The crowning touch comes at the very end, when the bride and groom take their rightful places at the top of the bakery masterpiece. It not only looks good enough to eat, it is. There is a large assortment of pies, pastries, sweet rolls, hard rolls, and other bakery goods. In fact, more than are found in many shops whose sole business is baked goods. A thriving, flourishing city must have adequate parking facilities in off-the-street areas if it is to cope with the mushrooming traffic problem. The H.C. Prange Company parking lot is well equipped to accommodate a constant flow of customer cars. Delivery trucks, from small pickups to huge vans, travel the Sheboygan area daily, giving prompt and efficient attention to orders left by shoppers. The dependability of Prange delivery men is emphasized by an average length of service of more than 18 years. Store personnel are more than just employees. They're referred to as associates. H.C. Prange Company, a good place to shop and to work. One of the most familiar sights in town is the time and temperature sign of the Security National Bank, a financial institution established in 1856, just 3 years after Sheboygan itself was chartered as a city by the state of Wisconsin. The present 7-story bank building, tallest structure in Sheboygan, dominates the downtown business district. The bank and the city have grown and prospered together. The Security National is proud of its 15,000 customers and more than 300 stockholders from every walk of life. Let's trace the experiences of a new customer who enters the bank with requests for service in several areas. First, the young lady informs the receptionist of her desire to open a checking account. She is introduced to Mr. Warrens, who explains the bank's checking account policies and answers all the customer's questions about deposit and withdrawal procedures. In this case, the account will be opened with a $200 balance. The bank executive explains that there will be a service charge of a nickel for each check she writes. A larger balance will reduce this charge to little or nothing. Mr. Warrens fills out her signature cards and then has the young lady sign them. The next decision is a choice of the many styles of checkbooks which the customer feels would serve her own requirements most suitably. With this decision made, the new customer is shown to the teller's window to make her deposit and receive the receipt that marks the conclusion of her first transaction with the Security National Bank. This same procedure has been repeated countless times over the years. Every time a transaction of any kind involving money is made by the bank, a small army of clerks and bookkeepers is called upon to record it. The girls who operate the bookkeeping machines each handle over 1,000 checking accounts. The IBM proof machines endorse and sort all checks according to destination. After checks clear the proof machine and are posted, they are microfilmed, canceled, and filed for mailing to the customer with monthly statements. Travel costs money, and our new customer finds that she doesn't have enough of this commodity to take a much-desired vacation. She's introduced to Mr. Bach of the Time Loan Department, who examines her request. A short interview convinces him that her job as a secretary will enable her to repay a $1,000 loan without difficulty. The loan is approved. The Security National Bank makes every attempt to rule in favor of loan applicants. In fact, in the past year, loans were made to 11 out of every 12 persons who applied. The proceeds of the happy new customer's loan will be deposited to her checking account. Travel manager A.J. Stiglitz will handle all the details of the proposed vacation trip. The bank will make reservations, purchase tickets, recommend hotel accommodations in this country and abroad, and supply traveler's checks. So, in the space of a few hours, a new customer has opened a checking account, made a loan, and is practically reclining on the beach in some vacation paradise. This technique of speed and convenience is further exemplified at the bank's drive-in window, where customers can cash a check, make a deposit, or get change without leaving their cars. Security National provides all the usual additional services, such as savings accounts, savings certificates, safe deposit vaults, trust department, and after-hours depository. A free parking lot with a capacity of 90 cars is another banking gesture that has brought praise from residents in and around the Sheboygan area. Sheboygan's strong, stabilized economy is pointed up by an excess of $100 million in funds in its financial institutions. The Security National Bank is proud to be a contributor to this stability. As far as commercial development is concerned, local business and industry have always benefited from the bank credit so necessary to successful operation in their fields. Businessmen know Sheboygan's natural advantages: good climate, robust, hard-working people, a location on Lake Michigan with the great potential it offers, and an unlimited water supply for residents and industry.